Hey, what's going on? Jake here with Uncommon EDC, and today we're doing another Zippo collection update. This time for new Zippos that I added in April of 2024. I did pick up 2 new Zippos and an insert this month, and both of these Zippo cases this time around are actually customized. So one, I did the customization myself. It was a super simple modification, took almost no time outside of the drying. That was inspired by Terry's Knives and Man Stuff, one of the Zippos that he had shared previously. The other though was customized by a cigar club that I'm a part of called Tobacco Tactical, and Zippo does offer custom graphics on their Zippos. I do have one of those with the channel logo on it, but we can tell this one was customized by them because it's actually in the regular chrome box. So they just purchase the plain chrome Zippo, do the customization, sell these as a pre-order as part of the club, and if you miss the pre-order, they don't end up selling them again. There's a pretty healthy secondary market for them, but they do a few different styles of Zippos, and I've mainly been focused on the camo patterns. And so we're gonna start with this one because it may be my new favorite Zippo in my collection, and it is one of those camo patterns. So this time around, it is the M81 camo. And this is the camo that I kind of think of when I think of camouflage, kind of that classic look to it. And I think this one turned out stellar. I'm gonna get it out of the box because there's a graphic on the back I'd like to show as well. And so the camo does wrap all the way around, including on the bottom, and we can see this one was a 2023 Zippo. And on the front, we just have that camo pattern and the Tobacco Tactical logo on the bottom right. That logo is kind of a spray painted lightning bolt, so there's some dripping paint that is a little bit hard to see on the smaller logo. I'll show the other two so we can see that a little bit larger on one of the other ones, but I think that's a nice subtle touch on the front. But my favorite of this one is actually the back graphic. And on the back, they have the anti-smoking smoking club, which they have done in a patch form in the past, but I don't think they put on any of their previous Zippos, or at least not the previous camo ones. And so I think it looks really great. Same gold font that they used on the logo on the front, and that gold looks really great with this camo. They happen to use that for all of them, so it's not unique to this one, but I think it really pairs well with the M81 camo. Now, this one did come with a standard Zippo insert, but I went ahead and swapped that out for the butane soft flame insert. And this is my favorite insert, and so usually when I'm carrying a Zippo, I'll end up swapping this in there, but I only had 2 at the time, so I did end up picking up another one of those just so I don't have to rotate them quite as much. I'm going to try and keep adding 1 or 2 every time I purchase a Zippo somewhere that sells them, and so I purchased this one at a smoke shop. They happen to have one, so I grabbed another to add to the rotation. But I did mention that I'm going to show the previous iterations that I have from Tobacco Tactical, and so the first one I picked up, it says 2021, but I think I got this in 2022, is the multicam black. And this is one of my favorite camos. Obviously, I use it as a background in my videos. Really love the way this looks. Has the gold font to back here instead of the logo that we see on the other one, which is cool. But the logo is still present actually on the side of this one. And so you can see it a little bit larger here than on the front that we get on our previous M81, and so you can see a little more of those details, but really great looking. It is a bit off center. I'm not sure if it's like that on all of them or just my example, but a little bit off center doesn't really bother me though, so I just like that it's on the side. We don't see a lot of graphics that are only on the side. We see plenty where it wraps around, like in the 540 designs. Obviously they wrap all the way around the Zippo, but not a lot that are designs meant for the side of the lighter. And so I kind of like the placement there. Nothing on the back of this one though, so plain on our back outside of that multicam black. And I think that one looks great. That was one of my favorites for a very long time. Still is one of my favorites. I think the M81 may have knocked it off though. And then after that, around Thanksgiving of last year, they did a pre-order on the Arid. And so this got to me, I think in the beginning of December, if I remember correctly. This one's a lot plainer in that it only has that lightning bolt logo on the bottom right-hand corner, nothing on the sides or the back, although that pattern does continue on onto the bottom, tops, and sides of this one. But really great looking. This one has a little bit of a busier camo pattern. Of the camo patterns, I think this one is the most kind of visually interesting looking, but really, really cool. And that's all I have so far. I don't know if they've done other camos. I can't remember. I think they've done about 7 or 8 different designs so far. And so I still need to get some of the other ones. The secondary on these is unfortunately not that great. Actually, they're available. You just pay a little bit more or the same as what they cost retail. And so these were also a little bit more expensive than most of our Zippos. I think they were about $80 each compared to like a custom Zippo, which might be about $40. And so you're definitely paying a bit of premium, being that they're customizing them rather than Zippo customizing them. But for me, it's worth it. I really enjoy these lighters, and so pretty happy with that pickup. Now, the one that I customized myself, mentioned it was inspired by Terry's Knives and Man Stuff. He shared in a video, actually I think it was a live on Jesse McJames and Randy's WSG's live, where he had attached some coins to the outside of his case, and I thought that was a really good idea. Now, I went with different coins because I was actually inspired by a knife in my collection, one I've shared recently. This is the C. Risner Indian Head Stockman, and you can see the shield on here is a miniaturized 1902 Indian Head penny, and I happen to have an Indian Head penny, and so I figured why not attach it to a Zippo. Got some JB weld. It was a really simple project, took maybe 5 minutes. You score the Zippo, you mix the JB weld, you put it on the case itself and on the back of the penny, and then you clamp it. I did end up overdoing it a little bit, so there was a little bit of cleanup. It wasn't perfect, but it's such an easy project. It's pretty hard to mess up, and so this is the final result. I think it turned out great. I could still do a little bit of cleanup. I can still see some residue on there, but it turned out pretty well for not really looking up instructions or anything like that, but it seemed like an easy enough project that I didn't need to do that. This is on the metallic red. I don't think this is a candy apple, although the box itself doesn't say, which I thought was a little bit weird. The back is blank here, no label, but I think it might be the metallic. The candy apple, at least online, looks like it's a little bit of a darker, richer red. And one thing that I would do differently is actually bring the knife with me when I purchase the Zippo, because I just went into the store, tried to find a red one that looked the same in my memory, but if we see side by side, they're actually pretty different. They still look good together though, so no complaints there. I probably will remake it though if I find a red that more closely matches this. And when I remake it, most likely what I'm going to do is find a 1902. If you take a closer look at this penny, it's a 1904, so might as well match the year on the knife as well. So I'll probably get a 1902 for the front, and then I didn't end up putting anything on the back, although it looks like I could clean this up a little bit too. There's some residue on there. Didn't end up putting one on the back, but I'll probably put another Indian Head penny here with the wheat side facing out, so you can see both sides of the coin when you flip that Zippo around. But overall, really happy with how this turned out. One thing I've seen other people do with the coins is attach the coin just a little bit higher. So I went with the center of the bottom segment of the lighter, but some people like to have it overlapping this lip a little bit, and what that does is it makes it hang over a little bit when you open it up, and it has a more dynamic look overall to it. I kind of like how this turned out, but I like the idea of that. One thing I was worried about with that is the fact that I do change the inserts when I'm carrying the lighters, and was worried that as I'm changing the insert I might knock it off. But with this JB weld, I'm pretty confident that I couldn't get this off with just my hands or just knocking on it. I would have to be very intentional about removing that if I ever want to take that off. So a little bit less concerned about that now, so may do that in the future if I make another one of these. If I do make another one, I may make a video on it now. I didn't want to make one without really watching any videos and be giving bad advice, but it seemed like a simple enough project, and so now that I know how to do it, I may make a video next time I make one. But those are the two that I picked up this month, as well as the insert, which was another of that soft flame butane insert again. Let me know what you think of my pickups down in the comments below, and as usual, if you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, subscribing, or joining the channel as a member. I do also have a weekly live show with my partner and co-host Tim over at Tim's School of Fish. We alternate channels each week, but it airs on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and this week's guest is Israel from Arcane Design. Really great guy. I'm excited to chat with him. He has some amazing designs and one of my favorite knife designers, so should be a really fun conversation. Definitely tune in if you have the opportunity. I'm also going to be on the Apocalyptic Invasion show over on Jesse McJames' channel. It's a show he hosts every other week with Randy's WSG that airs on Thursdays, so check me out there if you'd like to. Hope to see you in the chat. But thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a great one. Take care.